That brings us to County Administrator's Report. John.
As a follow-up to our housing study locally, and also working with Bath County, who is just wrapping up a similar housing study. The three Clifton Forge, Covington, and Alleghany County and Bath County are working VHDA, a state agency, Virginia Housing and Development Authority, and the Department of Housing and Community Development to host a housing summit here, invite folks in, take them on a tour of the community, show them the findings of the housing study. Those are builders, real estate investors, developers, and we're looking to host that sometime, hopefully before the Memorial Day weekend. It'll be similar to events that were recently held in Botetourt County, and then also in Martinsville, Henry County, who completed a study similar to ours. I'll give you more information about that as we develop. We've had 2 planning calls to put the event together, and hopefully hold the date invitations going out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Ms. Burcham mentioned at the last Clifton Forge Town Council meeting we have, and I mentioned to you electronically, successfully hired a Public Works Director to serve both communities. I think it's a great example of how both Clifton Forge and Alleghany County, and on a larger scale, all the local governments in the Highlands can and should be working together for the benefit of everybody that we serve. And that person will be split equally between Clifton Forge and Alleghany County. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Ricky Bourne. He has 20 years of experience in public works, a public works director for the town of Christiansburg. After having served there for a number of years, moved to North Carolina and served as public works director outside of Charlotte in a small community in North Carolina. Has moved on to private business currently, and is interested in moving back to Virginia. He's originally from the New River Valley and wants to come back to Virginia and wants to move back into the public service realm. And so he will begin work with us on March 23rd. Ms. Adcock mentioned the Opportunity Zone grant, and you just approved the funding for that. We have RFP out for prospectus development. That RFP is due in our office on Friday afternoon, about 2 o'clock. We've had some interest from and phone calls from interested proposers, and hopefully we'll get a good response there. You have a group of folks that are property owners inside the Opportunity Zone and investors from banks that serve on a management team, and those folks will review the proposals and select a consultant to hopefully develop a prospectus for our Opportunity Zones, both in Alleghany County and in the city of Covington. We share a border with them on the 2 Opportunity Zones that are here. Then the last thing I mentioned tonight, we'll start budget work. Suzanne has sent budget packets out, and those are due later this month. I spoke informally, and I'll be asking Mr. Garden and Ms. Vanderswall to help us work through the budget this year and advise us at staff level on priorities and funding. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. If not, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.